Why, hello everyone. Oh, I've actually missed making videos. I just didn't want to do pick-a-piles for the last while because there's just so many decks that are just like taking ages to get here. They're not even, only 2 or 3 of them are from the US, and then the rest were just like snail pace because of Black Friday and all that stuff. But anyway, this one arrived. The Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Palon. Now, it's taken it out of the box. I just thought I'd show the box real quick. It's just such a nice box. It's by Red Feather, who are the people who did the Tarot of Enchanted Dreams by Yasmin Westwood. I will always praise that deck, and if I keep referencing it, I'm sorry. But the box is like a little like treasure chest thing. I've just never seen that. I've never seen this like in any other deck. Now, it was split in two. So the majors and like up till I think about halfway through Pentacles, it was there, and then it went over here. So it's good. There's like a good few. They're huge. It's a lovely oracle size. Here's some info about the backing. I can't remember whose I was watching. I think it was Shuffle Tarot's review on this deck. And I believe she's the one who said that the artist Poppy took like 10 years to make this. And I was like, you can see why. They're all colouring pencil. Now, I'm a sucker for traditional art. Like, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. Just colouring pencils. Such a simple and affordable medium to use. And yeah, no, I'm a sucker for it. So I always use my universal weight. When I can. Like, that's the one to go out in my handbag. But we can't go out. Well, now we can, because lockdown's over. Hooray. So, forgive me for my weird nails, because I couldn't book my nail appointments, but I have booked it for like my Christmas nails, so you might get some Christmas nails. I don't know, but I'm thinking of just going a simple, nice like latte nude or whatever colour, something simple, do you know? But this is how the book is laid out. So it's like a photo album kind of shape. I always say that because you can get photo albums like this. And it's such a weird shape for the book, because I have so many that are just, like, here's the Wizard Tarot one. I've just so many that are just like an ordinary book, and they're easy to store. Whereas this one's going to be a bit, it could still fit, it'll just be up vertically maybe. But yeah, so they have the keywords over here, and then the correspondence, which is like what signs are associated with this. Soul music. The story behind the card, the meaning, what's in the image, and then the meaning, and then yeah, it just goes on. I just like looking for did it have any reversals, and it doesn't. I can speak English. But yeah, no, I've been like playing around with it. Now it's back in order. You'll see why I've had to put it back in order, because I've edged it. I've edged this deck, and if you've noticed my table's a bit more clearer, it's because I'll put it in an update during my update and like decks of the year of the month video. So, but yes, so here is the deck, and I've edged it Pursuit, because each border was a different colour. So like the black is the majors, red is wands, green is coins. Oh, I thought it was pentacles. Okay. And then blue is cups, and then purple is blades. So it's not swords, it's blades. Because everyone would use a blade, like a razor blade, or because we all shave at some point during the day, men and women. But yeah, so edging this was quite easy, to be honest. It's just 1 or 2 like markers I was using, just botched some of them. So I know I've missed some bits here, but I might just redo it over again. But hey. Going to get into this now, but here's the backing, and it's just by far the most stunning backing I've ever seen. How did she do that? Like, that's done by hand, I think. There's no way that's mirrored, and then, you know, I don't know how they did it, but even if you went this way, you see a fairy. That's the other thing. In the images, you'll see a fairy or a magical being hidden, because it's about everyday enchantments, so it's kind of cool. I like this. This is very cool. I wanted to get this deck for ages, but I was always put off it for just some stupid reason or one or another. I'll make an excuse, you know. But after 2020, this is like one of the very few decks that makes you go, oh yeah, look what, like, an everyday normal. If you hear rain, I'm sorry, I'm like under my window, so if you hear the rain, it's starting to get heavy. But it was just one of those decks that makes you go, wow, look what normal was. There is no such thing as normal, but I meant like out of 2020 kind of scenario. So the majors, I want to talk about the majors like I normally do, and then we'll go into each of the suits. So that's literally it. And get into this. So the Fool. The Fool is a construction worker, which is a brilliant Fool because they're taking the chance, like, because they're like, oh, this is a job, they don't know how long it's going to be, you know, they're taking that chance, going, hey, it could put me on the right career path, do you know? And there's the fairy there, and there's a cat, rather than a dog, which is nice, for a change. I might put this over here. The Magician, I love this Magician. It's just like, you know, the normal guy who's the charity worker who's fixing up the community garden in like the built up area. And look, Magician's like saying, say yes. There's graffiti up here saying yes. I'll just bring it up to you. There's graffiti there saying yes. I love these little robins just here saying, look, life is coming back to the garden. There's the fairy. I won't point them all out. Like, some of them don't have one, actually. I was trying to find them in some, like the High Priestess. I know I can't find it. But, it's like Where's Wally? Just play a Where's Wally game. But that is stunning, that is. I love that. I'll put them down here. The High Priestess. I don't know why, she's very blue. Like, sickly blue. And I do like the moons down here. And instead of... we do have a book. We have a book bag, we have this candle, but instead of two pillars we have a black cat and like an ordinary cat. So it's like, I don't know, it feels like she morphs into cats. I don't know. And I'm like looking for signs. There's crystals in the bin there, and there's a crystal coming out. It's interesting concept for it. The Empress is probably one of my favourite cards in this because it's such a warm and loving Empress. Now, I'm not saying the Empress isn't, but just like, you know, the way the Rider-Waite make her very regal, like she's a lady of the court kind of thing, you know? And she's supposed to be the Emperor's counterpart. So they're very regal in the way they sit. This is just a nice... this is literally a mom greeting her kid. After coming back from a walk, maybe with the grandparent, you know, like it's that kind of thing. Like she's opening her arms to greet her kid. And that's what the Empress is about, is the motherly aspect of the card. I don't know why though, this kitchen reminds me of the Simpsons kitchen because it's pink. I don't know. It's not even pink, it's orange, isn't it? This Emperor is brilliant. I like this because it shows you he's a father figure because he has the picture in the background here. There's the fairy. A little imp thing. And we see that he's just taken a picture of that eagle as well. There's the Taurus or the Aries sign. Yeah, it's Aries. Taurus is the circle with horns. But I do like how he has his office here and he's like, oh, I'm ready to make a deal with you. Do you know? And it's just such an interesting concept to this card. And like, plus diversity, why not? This Hierophant. Now, I love this Hierophant because it's a professor. But he looks like he's a professor in like religious history. That's why he's going through all the symbols in the background, so it doesn't matter your background. That kind of thing. And the students are listening in on this. So it's like he's teaching them like different and the history of religion and where it came from, rather than he's like a pope looking bishop person in the card. He's teaching them. And I get it, like the Hierophant is one of those cards that I always find, oh, can they just do something different other than making like Christianity or Catholic related? Because it's just like, oh, come on, do something different. Whereas this is very different. It's a professor. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's literally what the Hierophant is, though. He's a teacher, he's a professor, you know, they're for guidance in that way. Because this is the everyday guidance person, the person you get for guidance, other than your parents, obviously. But say if you're struggling and you go to the professor for advice, that's the same thing. Yeah, everyday enchantment. So this is the lovers, and I actually adore this. It's so cute. So we have the elderly couple here, and I thought this was interesting for the lovers, because usually that's a Two of Cups scenario, where they're there for long term. But we do have the young love here, and like they've met during the war. These guys met now, where everyone's like different and allowed to express themselves. Although I am confused by this person here. I'm wondering who this person is. And it looks like they're either reaching out to the fairy or they're trying to catch maybe a frisbee in the background. I've no idea, but it's interesting. I love the little dog. Look at him. So cute. And there's swans in the background, which swans in a card for the lovers is very interesting because swans mate for life. So that's a really interesting concept to put in a card for lovers, which is like kind of not really a long-term relationship, you know? It's a very interesting situation. The chariot. The modern version of a chariot is a skateboard. That's very cool. That's very cool. He's literally just landed, you can see that. But I like how there's like this people in the background like on this conveyor belt. Like this is literally how life was before the pandemic. We were all on this grey conveyor belt, going to work, coming home, making dinner, taking care of the kids, going to work. It's like the rinse and repeat. But once this hit, everyone was just like, holy crap, where are we going to go for work and stuff? You just work from home. And then, I don't know, it just brought life back into people's lives. Do you know? Like, it's not just like, get on the bus, go to work, meh, the dull grey routine. But in this case, it's like, spice it up a bit. Don't take the same route every time. Maybe go through the park to work, rather than around it, you know? Get more colour in your life, in that sense. This strength card is beautiful, and it's a lady in a wheelchair, and I love this. Like, she's just like, yeah, I've done this. I went off-road and made it up here to this party, like this fire dance by the looks of it. And I love how she has a dog here, so it looks like it's her service dog in it, and it's so sweet. Like, she's not letting the wheelchair limit her, which is lovely. That's what the thing is, you shouldn't let your disabilities or your faults, like, hold you back. So, you know, that's lovely. The more you stare at it, the more happy you get about it. Really nice. Hermit. Now, this is an interesting hermit. Let's see. Yeah, he's kind of a modern day sage in a way, or it looks like the professor from earlier. I know the walking stick is different, but it does look like the professor from earlier in the Hierophant. And he's just gone home going, oh, I'm done for the day. I'm going to read the next bit of the class I have to do in my pajamas while my dog and my cat keep me company. And I love that. Because there are people during this time who probably just have their pets and live alone, so that's their only source of company. So it's a nice hermit, because we all do need alone time in a way. Because I went to my local shopping centre after the lockdown, and I forgot that when we came out of lockdown it was straight into the Christmas rush. I had a headache so big, I wanted to just like, it's one of those ones where, can I just rinse my head, please? Like, it was so bad. Oh, someone just like massage my head, please. It was so bad. It was like going behind your eye. Like, it was one of those, like, because it went from cold to hot and so fast, like, kind of thing. You just went 180 from doing nothing, not allowed to go anywhere, going into the shops and doing everything. It was such a ripped off Band-Aid moment. It was so weird. That's why I like, oh, people, I need hermit time. I was like, I've just been out with people for a day and I need more hermit time. Like, it was like a necessary one rather than a forced one, if that makes sense. Wheel of Fortune. I love this. This is a mechanic, and he's like, yes, you fixed the wheel. And it's like they fixed the wheel for the car. It's so cool. For a second, I thought he was running with a mug of coffee there, because he's like, hey, no, it's not, it's just his pocket. That's really cool though. Oh, I love this little path of rainbow because it came out. That is by far such a happy dog. Can we talk about the happy dog if it lets me focus? There we go. Look how happy that little dog is. Oh, it's so pretty. Justice. I actually enjoy this Justice card. It's not just, you know, what's her name? The one with the weighing scales. There's a goddess. Oh, what's her name? I can't think of her name. I know her name and I can't think of it at the same time. Like, she's one of the Greek gods who has the scales and represents justice in most countries. And this Justice card is brilliant. It's like, hand me over the keys, and they're giving out that this crash happened, and she's like, hand me over the keys, and they're like, no, it's your fault, and she's like, both of you give me your keys because you're not driving home right now. And it looks like she's a lawyer in a way, and she also has the Libra. She has a Libra necklace on her there. Just there. Sorry about my nails, they're filthy. But yeah, she has a Libra necklace just there. Beautiful. Really pretty. And I do like how there's two wasps up here. So it's like they're stinging and they're going at each other, and then the fairies are actually red, so they're like imp and like putting the toxic energy in. But this woman is like the lawyer who's like, I've seen it all, I'm going to help you with your claims. The guy who's in the green is at fault or whatever, you know. Very good. This hanged man is brilliant. I don't know why, like everyone's just like, annoyed that the train is late or the bus is late, and this person's just like, well, I have 5 more minutes to goof off and just spin on this bar. And I actually like that. It's really interesting. And like this child screaming, it's like, I want to go home. And I'm like, you can't. The bus is not here. That's really funny. I just like that. That's really funny. Get a new perspective. Now there. Oh, I'm just gonna take a drink. Right. This death card is really good and very like interesting. It's like there's a ghost here in the background, right? And the elderly woman who seems to be the grandmother of the little girl, we're just assuming this because they're both wearing purple boots. That's what I was thinking, like, oh, they're wearing purple boots. We also have 3 crows, which mean like they're messengers of the past loved ones, and that's probably what this past loved one is. Could be an aunt, could be a big sister, you don't know, to the little girl. Maybe the little girl is asking her grandmother, like, where did so-and-so go? And I don't understand it. And then she's trying to explain death to the child in a colourful manner that it doesn't scare them, because, let's face it, the grandmother's old. And she's going to have to experience that. Like, I was about that little girl's age. So let's say she's 6. I was 6 when I lost my granddad on my mum's side, and no one did sit down with me and talk about it, which they should have. And if I had this conversation, I think I would have been more prepared. I'd still be sad, but I would have been have more clarity in the matter, do you know? So that's a very important, like, death card, and it's a very important conversation to have with children, especially in today's climate. Like, how'd you explain, like, oh, my aunt had a flu, but it's not the flu, it's COVID, and then because they have asthma, they didn't make it, you know, that kind of thing. It's one of those things, like, you have to explain to children, and it's hard to explain it to them when they are so young and they don't understand it fully, do you know? This temperance card is hilarious. Oh, so you two are fighting? You want a smoothie? I'd be that friend. If my 2 friends are fighting, I just hand them something that they like and they shut up and they forget what they're fighting about. If it's like in the moment fighting, but if it's like a thing that's been dragged on, I'm there going, okay, you need to grow up and stop because it's been too long now. I like how this fairy's like almost an angel here in the background. Very pretty. But I do like how she's crushing apples by the looks of it, and she's put strawberry in that one and a lime in that one. So it's like saying what's the saying? Like, it's like oranges and lemons. You maybe look different, but you're both the same because you're both fruits and citrus fruits or something like that. I can't remember the saying, but that's such a good card. This devil. When I saw this, I was like, oh, I hate these people. I don't drive, but I'm the passenger usually, and I'll be like so pissed off by other drivers for the other person. Now I love how this is actually in England because it has the sterling there. Pound sterling. I love this guy. He's like smoking while driving. He has a champagne bottle in the back. He's going the wrong way on a one-way street. He's not paying attention to these elderly people in the way. And he looks about 50 to 60, you know, like I'm going to say he's like the midlife crisis kind of age. Because anyone can have that, you know, a midlife crisis, quarterly crisis, whatever you want to call it. But he's driving that sports car kind of aspect and he just doesn't give a shit. But it looks like he's one of those people who scam elderly people, because I'm wondering why there's elderly people in the background. So I feel like he's scammed them. Do you know, he's like those scamming people. Going, hi, I work for a charity, and he's just so persuasive that they just give him their money. And it's so sad when they do that. The Tower. I like how she put this card in because it reminds me of Grenfell, Tower Fire. I remember that. I'm not even in England, but I just remember seeing that, and it was just horrendous. And it's just, this tower card reminds me of that. Basically, they're like a bunch of council houses. That's the word. Council houses, like apartments. And the people who made them, or the government, or whoever it was that made them, went very cheap and stingy on it. And there was no proper fire protocols put in. And a good 100 people died. I think I can't remember how many died exactly, but it was in 2017, and I don't know why that card reminds me of that. That's Grenfell. It's so sad. It's representative of the tower very well though. Okay. Oh wow, the star card. Can we just discuss this? It's like the aftermath. Like the whole thing fell, and this is the aftermath of everyone helping them. And I love this. The girl's holding a cup and she has a bottle of water next to her. She's helping people. I do like how they're kind of like, you can tell she's kind of lighter skinned, but her hands are like dirty in a way from being in that fire. That's crazy. There's all the builders looking around. Like, this is probably where she got the inspiration from it. Here's the moon. I don't know why this is an interesting moon card. Oh, phones for you. Oh my god. That's such a British like phone network. It's so can't believe they put that in there. It's like putting Sainsbury's in the background. The moon is all about illusion and like betrayal, so I feel like she's an elderly woman. She's been through so much in her life, and there's these people, these young kids jeering her. And she seems like drained. And she's probably not as old as she looks because she's probably the stress, you know? That's really cool. I like that. Oh, the sun. The sun card is the box art. And I love this. It's like the Hindu... was it so? I can't remember the name of the... Yeah, Asari. I might be saying it wrong because of my accent. But yeah, I love that. It's just that orange against the... like the red bricks in the background. It's gorgeous. Just shows you a new day is happening. You can make anything better again. Judgment. I love this judgment card. I like how there's a dude at the window like being an angel. At the door being an angel. Just to go, yeah, just so you know, it's a Rider-Waite card. But I love how like there's this girl here drinking in the middle of the day. There's a guy who's probably doing the same and they're not working. Then the girl in the background has a tattoo, and I like that. Like, people judge people for having a tattoo, maybe when this was made. And kind of still do today, a little bit, but not that much. And she's all, like, scantily dressed, because she's probably going out to be with a guy. And, like, people would judge girls for doing that, but not men. It's just an interesting judgment card, because you'd judge the girl for drinking, but not the guy a bit. Do you know? But you would judge the girl for going out meeting guys. Guy doing that, and then you'd worry about how many partners she's had rather than the guy. Do you know? It's that interesting judgment card. And I just noticed like he's like trumpeting flowers. Very interesting judgment card. Last but not least in the majors, the world card. And they're just knitting the countryside. I love this. Like, look, we have a Chinese lady here, maybe from Japan, who knows. And then we have like an Indian lady. Then we have the traditional old, like, British nan. Every nan looks the same to me. I have an Irish nan, and they're all the same. They're like, "Do you want tea? Are you sure you want tea? You don't look like you've been fed." And then you look at yourself, you're like, "Yeah, I think I've been fed enough." And then we have an Islamic woman, and that's beautiful. And then we have the African lady, and they're all doing the same thing. They're all being moms or aunties or just women in that certain age where they start knitting. And they're all knitting the countryside. And I like that because it shows you that behind every powerful man in the world, there's a strong woman. And that shows you now. So, that's the majors. And now we're going to go on to the minors. so that was the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. Now, I've shuffled them, and this is what it looks like when you shuffle them when they're all color coded. It's so interesting because I can't see the greens, but I can see all the other colors. It's so cool. Like, that's such a cool thing. It reminds me of those like rainbow pencils. You know, the pencils that would have like 4 different colors, and every time you sharpen it, you get a different color. I don't know why that reminds me of that. So cool. So let's get into it. Right, I'm going to do 3 cards. Here's 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Right, so the first one is the Empress. So I should have done the take a deep breath, pick 1 card, but I'm on a roll. I'm sorry, I'm really pumped up from that. So card 1, you have the Empress. So you guys are very nurturing. Maybe it's time to spend some time with your mother figures or anyone who you find eligible to be your mother in a way. It could be an auntie, could be a grandmother. And then we have the nine of coins, and these are cups. So this shows you that you are loving this. You have saved so much money, you've done all your Christmas shopping. I think it's time to take care of yourself as well. It could be that. Like, really do learn to take care of yourself. 9 of coins is all about, look at all the work you've done, and now you're about to, you can relax now, do you know? You've done the to-do list, you've wrapped all the presents, you're going to put the Christmas tree up next week kind of thing. Do you know? And maybe this is a time for self-care, because the Empress is all about caring and nurturing, but when it comes to the 9 of coins, I feel like it's all self. Like, you've done the hard work, so it's then your turn to do the self-care for yourself. So that's pile 1. Card number 2, we have the Page of Coins. I love this, the Page of Coins. Isn't that just so pretty? So the Page of Coins is all about learning things. So this kid's learning about it looks like he's learning that if you walk the dogs, you'll get paid. So he's like learning that concept of like, okay, if I do the work, I'll get rewarded, you know? Top of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords. This Queen of Swords is amazing, by the way. There's another card in there, it was the 7 of Cups, and that was brilliant. The one with the tattoo. I think it was 7 of Cups. No. One of the blue ones had a tattoo artist note. Yes. So this is showing you're learning a new concept, you're learning a new way of things, but you need to be very strict. You need to be very strict on yourself and like, don't spend money. Be very careful with what you do with it, and don't let people walk over you. So like, if this kid here is walking the dogs and someone says, oh, I saw you walking the dogs, can you take my dog? And then they pass it on and people start getting like hearing about this dog walker, and then suddenly you just go, no, because that's too many dogs. I can't walk with 10 dogs. I'm only a kid. Do you know what I mean? And that's out of my ability. And like, you have to learn that when it comes to work, you have to do your own stuff. But if someone asks you to do theirs, you just go, no, can't do that today. I have a pile that I've been putting off since last week. So I'm going to be doing that today. Just learn to say no when needed, I feel. Pile number 3 is the Knight of Blades. I've been here. This is very relatable. Where this kid's like, oh my god, I'm gonna like give you just like an amazing haircut, and he's like winging it, and you're like, that's a bit short. I don't want that. Like, this face, like, it's very risky. Do you know what I mean? And we have the 8 of Coins here. Okay, so I feel like you're rushing into things. Okay, you're very, because the Knight of Blades, Knight of Swords. I'm getting there in the end, I swear. They're very like, I'll just do it now, it's fine. Whereas this person probably didn't want a bang. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like if you do rush into things, know that you have to work hard. Rush into things with that adrenaline. Get stuff done. Work hard and get that. You know, get the, get the experience. That's the word. Bottom of the deck for today, your lesson for today is the Ace of Cups. Oh, that's so cute, isn't it? It's so nice. And we got an Ace of Cups, thankfully. But I feel like today, so this is like your little fortune for the week whenever you see this, and this is for today whenever you see it. Ace of Cups is all about letting those emotions grow, letting them out, knowing when to grieve, knowing when to be sad, know when to be happy. Like, just be happy. Don't feel guilty that you feel happy. Do you know? Because it's such a weird year, okay? I don't think we're going to have a year like this in our lifetime, okay? Maybe like 2 or 3 generations, something else is going to pop up and they're going to experience the same thing. But no one in the same generation will experience it again. So know that your emotions and your mental health are very important. They coexist together. If your mental health is off, your emotions are off. If your emotions are off, your mental health suffers. Same thing. So I feel like for today, whenever you see this, know that it's okay to be happy when needed. So that is the Everyday Enchantment Tarot by Palon. That is just so beautiful. It's such a beautiful deck. I've been wanting to use this, like it's just sitting there, and I've been studying with it, and I've been like studying each suit on my own, and I haven't shuffled it until now. And I was like, people find it mad that I don't know how I resist shuffling a deck. And I went with great gumption. I don't know what to call it. But yes, so that is the Everyday Enchantment Tarot. I'll leave that there, guys, and I'll see you all very soon. Stay safe, and yeah, bye.